So this guy is really trying to pull wool over. I'm using good language in your presence. Uh, that in a very typical Indian way, he's putting his label on something that someone else has done.
So can you share with us, keeping your usual self-effacing nature aside, and candidly share with us a moment or an event in your life which shows you in this light?
The car was devised to give people on two-wheelers an alternative, safer, affordable form of family transport, not to produce the cheapest car.
Here are the few lesser known yet intriguing scientific facts related to Elon Musk. Neuralink's potential in brain-computer interfaces. Elon Musk's company Neuralink is developing brain-computer interfaces that could revolutionize how humans interact with machines. While it's known that Neuralink aims to treat neurological disorders, a lesser known fact is that Musk envisions a future where humans can achieve symbiosis with AI, effectively merging human consciousness with artificial intelligence. This could lead to advanced cognitive abilities or even memory enhancement. SpaceX and development of Starship's heat shield technology. One of the most innovative but little known developments in SpaceX Starship is its heat shield, which uses ceramic tiles that are designed to withstand the extreme temperatures during atmospheric re-entry. What's fascinating is that these heat shield tiles are designed to be reusable. Musk and SpaceX are working on a technology where individual tiles can be replaced without affecting the entire structure, making it highly cost efficient for future space missions. Tesla's use of bioweapon defense mode. While Tesla's electric cars are known for their sustainability, fewer people know that some models come with a bioweapon defense mode. This is a specialized air filtration system designed to protect occupants from harmful bacteria, pollutants, and even potential bioweapons. It can filter out up to 99.97% of fine particulate matter, providing a clean and safe environment even in extreme conditions. The Boring Company's flamethrower. While not exactly a mainstream product, one of Musk's more playful ventures involved creating and selling flamethrowers through the Boring Company. What people might not know is that Musk initially proposed this idea as a joke. However, when public interest surged, he actually followed through with production. The flamethrower sold out rapidly, demonstrating Musk's ability to turn an offhand idea into a commercial success. Solar cities, solar roof, and energy storage vision. Elon Musk's vision extends to solar energy through Solar City, now part of Tesla. One lesser known scientific innovation is the Tesla solar roof, which integrates solar energy harvesting directly into the roof tiles of homes. Combined with Tesla's Powerwall energy storage system, the goal is to create a fully sustainable energy ecosystem for households, drastically reducing reliance on traditional energy grids and fossil fuels. These projects and ideas show Musk's broad influence on scientific and technological innovation, often blending the boundaries between engineering, sustainable energy, and future human-machine interfaces. Musk is also known for his outspoken and sometimes controversial behavior, particularly on social media, where he frequently shares updates, ideas, and even memes. His tweets have often stirred public debate, affected stock prices, and brought attention to various issues, both personal and business related. Despite this, his fanbase remains strong and he is regarded by many as a modern day visionary.
So I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, and he's on interplanetary travel, and that's what's on the card.
You also going to Mars?
No, not yet. I don't have so much money. But so he's talking about evolution of human beings. He wants to be buried on Mars, right? I think the last time we evolved was more than 15,000 years ago, and we may be due for an update. Where do you think the human race is going to go in the next 100 or maybe even 500 years, and how do you think we're going to upgrade? How are we going to evolve?
I don't want to comment on Elon Musk. Well, he's made a nice car. Okay. The first one that he made on the Lotus platform, yeah. So that was faster than a Ferrari, I drove that one. So I have no complaints about him. But he must restrict himself to cars, maybe airplanes, maybe even a rocket. But he shouldn't talk about human mechanism, it's a different matter. See, there's substantial evidence, neurological evidence, This question has been on for a long time. Can we evolve into another place? A whole lot of people asking. Can we make a bigger brain so that we could act better, we could be more intelligent, we could do many more things? So neurologically, certain neurological scientists have explained this. See, if you want to increase the capacity of this brain, one thing is you must pack more neurons. This is how a lot of children are born with excess neurons. Those are the children who are hyper, very brilliant but hyper and unstable. Well, the moment today doctors see them, they pounce on them and because medical industry is a big industry, they're always looking for a victim. And pharmaceutical industry is the second largest industry, so they pump something into it, they give some name, ADD, ADH, ABC or XYZ. All the 26 alphabets have been expanded like this. But when a child is like this is not abnormal, this is normal. A whole lot of children are born like this, that there is excess neurons in the brain. If you just put the child to lot of physical activity, sleep and physical activity, proper physical activity, you will see by the time he's 6 or 8 years of age, he will adjust himself. The body does its own thing to make sure it kills the excess neurons and manages itself. But before that, if you put them on sedatives and that kind of stuff, for a lifetime they may become dependent on the medication. Having said that, another way to enhance your brain capacity is to increase the size of the neuron. If you increase the size of the neuron, the capacity of the brain could expand big time. But right now as you sit here in a restful condition, more than 20% of your energy is being consumed by your brain. Your brain is only this much, hardly 2 pounds. This much body consumes only 80%. This consumes 20% sitting here. If you increase the size of the neuron, the kind of energy that it will demand, the body cannot sustain. So this is what the neurological assessment is. But Adiyogi, over 15,000 years ago, said something very unique. People asked the same question. So Adiyogi said, see, you can learn to use your existing capacities in a much higher way than the way you're using it right now. If you become more and more conscious, your body and brain, you can use it in many, many more ways than they're using right now. But if you have to physically or physiologically evolve, then the way the planetary systems are, some change needs to happen in the solar system, because solar system is like a potter's wheel. It has spun this and it has reached its peak. How we know it's reached its peak is, if you know something about the geometry of the solar system, you know the diameter of the moon and the distance between the earth and the moon is 108 times, and the diameter of the sun, you know those things. So, if you look at the human system, there are 114 junction points or chakras as they're called. The first two are outside the physical body, so we usually don't talk about it unless it's for some mystical purposes. So 112, out of that 112, 4 of them, you cannot do anything about them. If you take care of the 108, the remaining 4 operate by themselves, they have an intelligence of their own. We cannot do anything about it. So 108 is what is available to you. Seeing this, he says, see, 108 is already available to you. So the geometry of the solar system is like this. Unless some structural change happens in the solar system, you cannot evolve physiologically any further. But your ability to use the same thing in better and better ways is always available to you. So if you're planning to grow this along with Elon Musk, no, but can you learn to use this better? Are we not always learning to use this better, both body and mind? Aren't we? Some people, of course, downgrade themselves as time goes by, some people are upgrading themselves, isn't it? It's possible if you're willing. Willingness means, if you have to be truly willing, you have to be conscious. If you're unconscious, you have become unwilling unknowingly.
Elon has been a tremendous innovator, but he is a personal innovator. I attended a meeting in which is housed in his SpaceX facility. And during the break, he said, "You want to come and see what we're doing?" And I said, "Yes, sir." So we went down to the shop floor. And I said, "Where do you get your rocket engines?" He said, "We make our own." And he said, "We're putting this vehicle that is unmanned vehicle, which has gone to the space station. We're making our vehicle myself." So I thought this guy is really trying to pull wool over. I'm using good language in your presence. That in a very typical Indian way, he's putting his label on something that someone else has done. And as we walked through the shop floor, I really came to conclude this guy is really building his rocket engines himself. He's really building his vehicles which will take 7 human beings to the space station himself. And I suddenly thought to myself, and he is doing it at twice the speed of NASA and about 1/10 of the cost of NASA. And I thought, is this really possible? That this guy who is coming to his wealth is going into such a risky business and is able to do this and do it at such a difference from a monopoly situation that has happened, funded by the federal government to this extent? And the answer is yes. The person who developed a software package, sold it, then undertook to produce an electric car and build it to an image of leadership in the electric car area, then into space, and now into various and sundry other areas. How does that person do it? I think we can assume that he doesn't do it alone. He does it because he's able to develop a team around him that doesn't say things cannot be done, but have the attitude of saying, how do we do it? That's what we want to do. How do we do it? And whether you write it on the wall or write on the floor, or you wear shoes or don't wear shoes, or you have a beard or long hair or have...
That happens.
I didn't say it.
You don't choose it, it just happens. You don't do the beard, it just happens.
It just... So I think these are issues that you foster that environment, and you don't worry about whether you conform.
Mahatma Gandhi said once that if between you and the other person, if one of us has to lose face, let it be you, not the other person. You represent that for me in many ways, hearing you now and also since yesterday evening. So can you share with us, keeping your usual self-effacing nature aside, and candidly share with us a moment or an event in your life which shows you in this light?
Okay. I would pick another instance. When I was chairman of Telco at that time, or is Tata Motors today, we traditionally were a truck company producing commercial vehicles. Somewhere in the 80s, I took a view that we should stop being merely a commercial vehicle company and enter the car market. Most people have forgotten that Telco, or Tata Motors as it is now called, decided to make an Indian car. Not the Nano, it was a car called the Indica. So it called for faith and confidence in your engineers that you could actually do something from scratch, that you could compete in the marketplace, which was new but was opening up, that you could do something without going through a life of licensed manufacture, collaborations, etc., and you could undertake to do this as an Indian company. So all my friends in the car industry overseas said, you know, you're younger than we are and you're more ambitious, but people have done this and failed. It's just not the thing to do. The board went along, but reluctantly. My Indian friends, not in the car industry, as we progressed down this journey, started to distance themselves from me because they distanced themselves from failure. And when the car was launched, it attracted attention, but people were looking for its weak points, etc., rather than its strengths. If you, however, so in a way, one had to lose faith in the sense that here was impending disaster. You believed in these people, you were under the spotlight, not your people. And yet that car gained a 20% market share in the industry and continues to exist today. By contrast, the Nano, which is another challenge, one might say you achieved the challenge of producing a low-cost car, but the company did many things wrong in promoting the car or marketing the car. There might be an issue of a loss of faith. How does one face that loss of faith? I think again in the inner voice saying, did you do the right thing? Did you produce a car for $1 lakh? If it had gone right, did you cover new ground? And the inner sense of that is, yes, you did. You did something wrong. The major thing that one did wrong, I think, is handing it back to the traditional marketing people or salespeople who decided to try to sell it the same way as you sold any car. The car was devised to give people on two-wheelers an alternative, safer, affordable form of family transport, not to produce the cheapest car. It was to upgrade people's lifestyle into four wheels rather than two, into a safer form of transport, not to move them down into a cheaper car. So we needed to market the car as innovatively as we had chosen to design it. So the inner voice said that you did nothing wrong, something else was wrong, and you should try to rectify that, which unfortunately is still not happening. Then I look with some degree of sadness that what became recognized as an Indian achievement hasn't been as successful in India as it perhaps should be. Maybe one day it may be successful in Indonesia or some other country where it gets marketed. But it's considered to be a dark cloud hanging over one's head. I have no sense of depression over it, because I think we undertook to do something which we succeeded in doing. We didn't succeed in commercializing it to the extent that it could. We didn't revolutionize the car industry in India, unfortunately. But I don't consider that loss of face to have been devastating.